Yeah.
Hello, my name is Sean Dubiago. I am a teacher of comparative literature, film, and philosophy in San Francisco, and I'm very happy to be here to have a conversation with the wonderful Californian poet Suzanne Lummis. May I introduce her?
I am Suzanne Lummis, a poet born in San Francisco, and I lately adopted Los Angeles as my city, but educated in Fresno. Spent some time in San Diego. Was in, and now I'm in San Carlos. Is that right? Where am I? San Carlos? San Mateo?
Oh, no, right now we're in San Mateo.
I'm in San Mateo.
You are right. Yes,
Good.
yes.
Okay, so I get around, in other words. Yes.
So I wanted to start this conversation by asking you slightly something different than what others might ask you. Rather than asking you why you write, I'd like to ask you, what would your life be without writing?
Well, you know, I wrote my first poem just before I entered the 4th grade. And I was in Mexico, and it was a hot night, and there was a full moon, and I wrote a poem about the full moon. It wasn't a good poem. It wasn't even a good child's poem. I teach children to write poetry sometimes, and they all write better poetry than this. It rhymed. Some of the rhymes were forced. But I went to my parents and I declared myself to be a poet. So that's pretty young. So I'd have to think of the only thing I wanted to be before I wanted to be a poet was a cowgirl. Oh. So I guess I would be a cowgirl.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
I guess I would have just stuck with, okay, be a cowgirl. I can't think of anything else that would have worked out.
I'm sure you would have been a fantastic cowgirl.
Oh, that might have been a nice life, you know, might have been a nice life. I hear it's a little risky. You can fall off your horse, right? Especially if you're a rodeo rider. I might have taken some hard falls. Whereas the falls I take as a poet are more psychic, emotional, psychological, and so on.
So that's what I was going to ask
my
you.
ego gets bruised all the time. Yes.
So how do you protect your ego through writing?
I think that poets and people in the arts, I think actors have to do this. I think people have to do this probably in a lot of different fields, because poets aren't the only ones who fail, or who are ignored, or who are humiliated, or who are sometimes broke. I think a lot of people are. And you have to have a conversation with yourself. And I think it has something to do with being true to what you believe in. And sometimes I've submitted to magazines and my work has been rejected, and then you look at the issue of the magazine, and sometimes they're publishing work that just looks like dreck, or to me it looks like dreck. So you go, okay, but I don't want to write that way to try to be in that magazine. This is what I do. This is what I believe in. This is the kind of work that I feel is vital and lively on the page, and dynamic and interesting. And so you kind of have to, I think that Philip, you know, I'm a big fan of Raymond Chandler. And Philip Marlowe is Philip Marlowe is my role model. That's my role model. And there is some point in one of those books where somebody asks him, how come you never bribe the cops, you never sell out to the crooks, and you never sell out to the cops? Why? Why not? Everybody else is getting rich doing that, you're poor. And he says, you know what? I just kind of like to be able to look at my face in the mirror when I get up to shave in the morning. And that's kind of how I live my life. You have to be able to look at your face in the mirror when you get up in the morning.